Hey y'all, I'm here. Tonight's not my night normally, right? But I'm here, y'all. I am so sorry for being late. Please forgive me. Please forgive me, y'all. But I know that I was not going to miss. I don't care if we'd have been on here at 10 o'clock tonight. We was talking tonight, y'all. It's been Devin song, y'all. My baby song. I'm sending out some invites. Let me see. The best of me, y'all. I'm giving y'all the best of me. What an appropriate song, y'all. Okay, hold on. I am sending out invites. Do I have to send out invites, or with Facebook just notify people? Do y'all get notifications, or do I have to do this every single time? Do I? Yeah, I'm so late. I'm like a whole day and an hour late. But that's all right, y'all. So I'm gonna give y'all what I got. Okay. Got a little something for y'all. My arm hurt. Can y'all, if I don't send invites out, will people still see this? Yes. My arm hurts. Okay. I think I'm done. Let me invite her to. Y'all. Okay, I'm done. Cause do I have to invite everybody? Or will they just see it? Tell me. I can't see y'all talking yet. Hold on. So, my invites. Hold on. All right. I think I'm done. Yeah, they'll see them, right? Yes. Wait, let me go back. Let me read. Hey, boo. My baby. Yeah, my baby was like, Mama, where you at? Like, I'm coming. Hey, Rayshawn. Hey, Carolyn. Yes. No, you did not miss it. Hey, Vincent. Crystal, hey. I love y'all. Folks probably like, well, she ain't come on here, so it's what time is it? I don't know. We ain't gonna worry about nobody else being on here. I'm gonna jump right to it, because I done held y'all long enough. We supposed to be getting off the live right now. We just not getting on, right? So let me first say, I am absolutely sorry for being late, but I knew I was gonna get this word to y'all, right? Because I've been waiting on this since yesterday. And yesterday I had to postpone it, right? Life happens, things happen, right? So I had to fill my cup, sis friends. So yes, I feel a little like I need to, right? But we know the Holy Spirit we're gonna allow him to just do what he does, right? Hey, Kimberly. We're gonna allow him to just do what he does and be God, right? Tonight's broadcast is what it's about. When you know that you've heard from God clearly, when you know that, right? What do? You stand on his word. Right? So before I start, I have to introduce myself, right? Hey, Michelle. I have to introduce myself. My name is Kimberly Nicole Johnson. Is my music too loud, y'all? Y'all know I gotta have my little background ambiance. Y'all know that. You know that's part of my little thing now. That's like I feel like I got my baby with me now. If it's too loud, y'all just say turn the music down. Okay. For those of you who just happen to be scrolling by, or if someone is tagging you in the post, and you don't know who I am, you're like, well, who's this lady? I don't know her. What's going on with her, right? My name is Kimberly Nicole Johnson. I am the author of Walking Without My Cane. I am the wife of the late Devanrmoni Johnson. I am also the creator of my music gets loud. Like I'm talking loud. Okay. I am the creator of the guide How to Move Forward After Experiencing some of life's hardest moments. I'm also a speaker. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a life enrichment coach. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the CEO and founder of Unleashing the Power of Greatness, which is a faith-based enrichment brand where we help you change your lens. We help you see things from a different, see things like your life, your where you are, who you are. Just help you clean out that lens and see things on a whole nother elevated level, right? Because when your lens is different, your life can be different, right? So that's what we do in a nutshell at Unleashing the Power of Greatness. So tonight's broadcast, like I said, is about when you know you've heard God clearly, when you know you've clearly heard Him. What do? You stand on His word, and that came to me because what's today? I'm like, today's Thursday. So Tuesday. So Tuesday I had a really amazing day Tuesday. I received 2 amazing calls that were absolute praise reports, right? 2 absolute praise reports on Tuesday. The first call was, I was at the orthodontist getting my braces tightened, and I got a call that was just so like, yes, but the call that I received, God had already told me a long time ago, right? But it's just still nice to just hear that confirmation, even though we don't need it. It's just still like, and then right after that, I got another call about something that you guys will soon know about. I can't say what it is yet, but I got another call that was nothing but favor, right? Nothing but favor. So I had a really good day, right? So then a few hours later, I received a text, and am I still on here? I was in a really good space, and so I get this text. Now, keep in mind, I had just received 2 praise reports, right? So I get a text, and I'm reading the text. Now I was at Starbucks, right? I was at Starbucks, and I was doing some work and I had a client at 5:00. I had a client, a coaching client that I had to talk with at 5:00. So it's about 4:30. So I'm on the high, right? I'm just like praising God. I have it on the phone with one of my other girlfriends, and we going back and forth sharing our praise report, right? So I get a text, and I'm reading the text, and it threw me, right? I'm like, I'm not going to say what the text was, but the text threw me. It was something that I absolutely did not expect. It was like, have y'all received a text? I'm sure you have. Received a text or a message, and it just literally like gut punch you, and you like, I'm talking like out the blue when you have no idea where this message or whatever is coming from, right? So picture this. I'm at Starbucks. I got my feet up. I got all my little stuff. I'm working, right? I've been in a good space all day, right? So I received this text. So I'm kind of looking at the text, and it was really sunny this day too, Tuesday. So I'm reading it, and so as I'm reading, so I'm a big processor. Hey, Christy. Hey, Deetra. I'm a real big processor. I'm the type of person that when I receive information, I need time to process. And sometimes that means I need the rest of the day, or you know what I mean? It just depends. I have to process. So I read this message from this person sending this message. So I was kind of like, so then fear starts to sit in, right? So then from the message that I got, it made fear set in. And then when fear started to sit in, it made me start thinking everything that could possibly be attached to fear. I started feeling like, so now since this says that, you can't go do this. Now you got to go do that. So I just started now I'm making up stuff. So we're having a text conversation back and forth. So I started crying because I was like hurt. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Right? I was like hurt. So I'm in Starbucks. Now I am a crybaby, y'all. I'm a crybaby. So I was in Starbucks. So I grabbed my shades and So by now it's about 4:45. Right? Now keep in mind, I have a 5:00 client that I have to show up for, right? So we're texting, and so I called this person. They didn't answer. So we're texting because I'm a person that I'm a person that I don't run from stuff. So either we gonna talk about it and we gonna either stop or move forward. But I like to confront stuff so we can get on the table and move forward, right? So they didn't answer the phone. So we're texting. So I'm reading these texts, and so I'm getting more and more emotional. I'm starting to take it personal. I'm making it really about. I'm making it personal, like it's an attack on me. And so then in the midst of that, I text one of my brothers. I said, call me tonight. I need to talk to you about something, right? So now I'm kind of like in panic mode. And so here go the enemy. He's still talking like, told you that wasn't going to work. I told you can't do that. So you need Devin for that. So now I hear this little chirp. And I keep in mind, I had just got praise reports earlier. And what I received earlier, I already expected to hear, right? So the enemy hates that. Just sidebar, he hates happy. He hates when we like, yes. He hates that. He's a hater, right? He's a hater, right? So now it's like 4:45, right? So now we're texting. So then so the texting kind of stopped, right? We kind of stopped texting. So now I'm in full, like, I can't even focus because now the enemy is now whispering stuff like, I don't know what you thought. I knew that wasn't going to work out. I knew that thing wasn't going to happen like that. I knew you couldn't do it. Who are you? You can't do this. You can't, So I promise y'all. So when I was sitting there initially, I was on, I had my laptop, I had my MacBook open. I was writing, or I was doing something. So I promise y'all, when I looked down, and I should have wrote this down so I could have read this to y'all. When I looked down on my screen, I promise y'all, I had typed this like back in January of 2018, right? I typed this, and when I looked down at my screen, I can't even find it. I was gonna find it, I can't even find it. That's how much of I didn't even expect to even see this, right? I can't even find it. I was looking for, I can't find it. So when I looked down on my screen, y'all, it was a scripture that I had written out, and it said something like, I think it was like John, and it said, trust God trust the process, trust God, and then under that it says, ask anything in my name and I will do it. Now this just popped up on the screen. That was not what was on my screen. I promise y'all. So when I look, so as I'm tears coming down, I look up and I see this. And so I say, okay, God, I hear you, right? So I'm still contemplating, I don't even want to talk now. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all know how when y'all at work and something happened, you be like, I'm ready to go home. I don't want to, I'm done, right? So I was just like, how can I give to this lady and I'm feeling this type of way, right? So I'm telling y'all, inside me, I kept on hearing, just call her and reschedule. That's what I heard. Just call her and reschedule. But then I heard, no. And then, not only that, one of my sons had this event on Tuesday, and I'm so proud of him. And it's a big deal. And he had to speak. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go home. I'm going to cancel her. I'm going to reschedule her for next Tuesday. I'm going to tell my son. And so I heard God say, no, you're not. No, you can ready to get your butt up and you can ready to go to work, right? So I'm sitting there like any little kid, like, right? Like, I don't want to, right? I'm mad. I want to, it's like, right? You know how little kids do. And they're like, right? And God like, get up, right? So now keep in mind, I'm still feeling this. Okay, so I was feeling betrayal. I was feeling betrayal. I was feeling like I was alone, just from this text. Like I was alone. I was feeling like I couldn't trust now people just from this text. Now, when I get into what the text was about, y'all gonna say that wasn't nobody but the enemy, because that's not even what the text. It didn't even say any of that. But that's what the enemy was making me believe, right? Now, fast forward. So I had my call with my lady. It's amazing. She's blessed, right? So I was able to still pour into her, and the enemy wanted me not to pour into her. I went to my son's event, showed up. It was amazing. Had an amazing time. He spoke. It was amazing, right? So now I get home, right? So now I'm coming home. So as I'm coming home, y'all know how I go. Here come the voice again, right? right? But guess what happens? Guess what happens? You can either choose to listen to that voice, or you can choose to say, hold on. That ain't what God said. God already told me. God already promised me. And I'm going to tell you something. A promise means the assurance that someone will definitely do or give what they said. That's what the word promise means. Promise is an assurance, right? It's an assurance that what has been said or told is going to happen. That's what a promise is. So as I'm hearing all this little God, like, hold on. Who you belong to? Me or them? You belong to me or them? Because so many times what happens is people would choose to believe the dark or believe the enemy over what God has said. It's almost like this. It's like, for those of you who have children, right? And you tell your children something. If you tell your children, you know what? We gonna go to the jumpy park or whatever, the little bouncy park or Dave and Buster's or whatever. And your kids say, you promise? And you say, I promise. And then they go to school or something or wherever, and somebody else says, yeah, I ain't going to the thing. And they like, my mom and my daddy promised me. And then they start coming and you questioning you. And you gonna say, wait, I promise. And if you are a woman or a man of your word like I am, now things happen, but see, God don't work on the things happening, right? Because it don't matter. If God said it, you can take it all the way to the bank, right? If he said it, he's gonna do it. And we know that whatever he says in his word, and when we worship him and we love him and we honor him and we give him the glory, he's not gonna lie. See, man lied. God can't lie. So when you know that God is already, okay, hold on, I'm gonna back up. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. So what happened to me was, at this particular moment, so now I'm hearing the enemy, right? And what happened? So what happened was, I had guests that was unwanted. And how many of y'all have had people at y'all house and y'all like, what's that nigga wrong? Right? How many of y'all have guests in y'all house sometimes and they overstay their welcome? Or have guests who weren't even invited, just come to your house? I'm saying something right now. Me and Devin, if you came to our house and we didn't expect you, we wouldn't even move. Our kids, nobody wouldn't even move. The doorbell ringing, we doing whatever we doing, right? So what happened is that I had unwanted guests, and guess who the guest was? Fear. I didn't invite you. Doubt. You wasn't invited. Worry. Right? And see, for me, I don't entertain unwanted guests, right? These little guests try to come to the table, right? These little guests try to come to the table. And guess what? I don't feed nobody who I ain't invite to the table. Come on now, I don't do that. If you are an unwanted guest, now unwanted means someone who is in the dark, someone who is negative, right? That's an unwanted guest. Someone and anything who speaks against what God has said. Y'all all know somebody that always got something negative to say. I'm sure y'all do. Let me tell you something right now. My family know I will moonwalk so fast. You understand? Somebody be like, where Kim go? She gone. I will move. I don't even know how to moonwalk. But if anybody is negative and dark and down, I will moonwalk. You hear me? Like, where Kim go? She gone. I don't operate in that. So God was telling me, like, you letting people sit at your table. Yes, that's right, daughter. You are letting people sit at your table and you don't even want them there. Now, let me say this. There are some people out here who absolutely... That's right. There are some people out here who absolutely loves those type of guests. That ain't me. I know it ain't y'all. Right? So what happened was, watch this. Don't forget, what did I say? I had just had nothing but good news all day. All I had all day was God's promises being fulfilled all day. And y'all know it's always a hater. He a hater. He a hater. It's always a hater like, oh, well, you know. And when you a hater, you can hate on anything. You can see a rose, and the rose, it smells yummers. And you'll be like, well, you know, I mean, that rose really don't, I mean, you know, it's kind of strong for me. I mean, you know, I don't even really like roses. Like, if you a hater, you just a hater, right? Like, he's a hater. So what happened was, for a moment, longer than what I would have liked, but for a moment, I allowed, because guess what? You have to allow that. Because the enemy don't have no control over you. The only control he has is whatever we give him. And guess what else and guess what else? The only control he has, see, what he does is he watches how we move. Because he cannot control, right. Because he cannot control unless you allow him. So for those that he cannot control, what he does is he intently watches, right? Now, the enemy does not know what God getting ready to do, but he knows what you say by your size, your eye rolls. He pays attention to every move you make. He pays attention to every single move, right? So what happens is he'll use that little thing against you. So when you stop standing on what God has told you, when you get off what God has when you step away from what God has already told you, you allow the enemy to win. So I had to speak to what I knew God had already said. Because again, remember, God cannot lie. He's not going to lie. And when you get to a place, so I'm going to offer you this. When you get to a place when you know that you know, because now I'm going to say this. Sometimes God ain't said it. Sometimes you said it. I'm just saying. Catch that. Sometimes God like, I ain't said that. God like, I ain't told you that. But I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you how you know when God says, because it matches up with his word. Right? It matches up with his word. When you know that God, for example, let's say this, let's say if you kind of sitting somewhere and you praying or whatever, or you talking to God, whatever, and then you hear, you know what, daughter, I love you, but I ain't gonna heal you today. You think God said that? What does God's word say? By his stripes I am healed. By your stripes I am healed. Is that what God says? That's a promise. If you hear, you know what, daughter or son, I love you, but I ain't gonna provide for you today. What does the word say? I will supply all your needs according to my riches and glory. That's a promise. But guess what? You have to read the word to know what the promises even are. Right? That's right. You have to read the word to know what God is saying, because again, so many times people will say, well, God ain't said that. And guess what else? Guess how else you will know when it's God speaking or when it's God's promise? Because it'll be a peace in you that's so settled. Now, I'm not saying that you won't be nervous, but you will have a peace. I'm not saying you won't be afraid, but you will have a peace. Like, you know what? I trust you. Right? So I had to take back what belonged to me, which is God's promise. So so what happened was, I started to make that whole conversation a personal attack against me. That's what I did. And what do we know about when God closes a door? What do we know about that? Yes. When God closes a door, when God closes it, we know that he's going to open up another one. We know that. Right? We know that. And I'm going to tell you what I heard. So I've been reading about Joshua. And when Moses died, God elevated Joshua, right? He said, listen, I'm paraphrasing. I'm finna paraphrase. Don't quote me, but you get it. He says, listen, Moses gone, so now I need you to step up. right? I need you to lead these people now, right? And guess what else God told him? He said, everywhere you go, wherever you set your foot, it's gonna be blessed. That's a promise. So whatever God has promised in his word, you can absolutely take it to the bank. And whatever God has promised you, you stay. Don't you move. Don't you move. Don't you move. Because see, the enemy wants you to move. And see, because once you move, you cannot be in position for the promise. So you cannot, you stand. The word says, when you've done all you can do, what do? You stand. When you know that you know, there's things that God has told me since my husband's transition, has clearly told me through my dreams. He's told it to me through his word, through others who are prophetic, other believers that I know. And guess what? And he's told me things. He's told different people things that don't know that he said the same thing to them. It's been confirmed to me, because see, a word will be confirmed when the believer gives you a word and you know that it speaks to you. It's confirming, right? So there are things that God has promised, period. And guess what? You can never go off what it looks like when what it looks like does not match the promise. Can't do that. Well, you know what? It looks like, I ain't going to be able to probably go over there and purchase that stuff. But what did God say? Well, it looks like I ain't going to be able to keep that thing over there. What did God say? What does the promise say? Well, you may say, well, what it looks like when I go to this doctor, this report going to look like. What did God promise you? Don't move from that. Because see, here's the thing. I'm saying it baffles me how people will choose to believe anybody else over God. Think about that. Like God is greater than all things, all people. Yet people will choose, because it's a choice. Guess what? I could have stayed in that place. And guess what else got to do? When you get to that place of where you kind of like a little shaky, those legs start getting a little wobbly and you can't really stand, God will send who you need to pour back into you to confirm and remind you of what he's promised you. He will do that because he knows that we need it. So that night, my brother called me. Now, at this point, I felt a little bit better. So I thought, right? And I called one of my girlfriends and she ministered to me. And again, just because we know don't mean that we don't need other believers to confirm and to pour back into us. We still need that, right? So that night, I came in the house, took a shower. I'm getting ready to jump into my word. I was going to just be quiet and just listen so I can hear God. So he called. And when he called me, he said, well, what's going on? So by now, I feel better. I don't even want to really talk about it no more, not for real, right? So as I'm telling him what happened that day, I'm crying. I said, but I'm better. He starts laughing. He said, oh, you better? I said, no, it don't sound like it, but I'm better. So he said, you know what? You have every right to feel how you feel. You have every right to be upset, to be hurt. He said, but here's the thing. I want you. And then he said, you know what? He said, no, we are going to tackle why you are feeling this way. Right? That was God sending another believer to help, to pour back into me, to help confirm what God has already said. Right? That's what he did. And so we had like a long hour and something talk. And he gave me a whole nother way to look at what was just given to me earlier. He said, how about we do this? He said, how about we take what you just heard and spin it to what we're saying? You know what, God? Thank you for X, Y, and Z. I'm grateful that this opportunity came to me. I'm grateful that you are about to close this door so you can open up another door, right? It's all on how we see things. And guess what? He did? He allowed me, he helped me to remember what God already promised me. See, people break promises all the time. We don't. God don't. Hey, sissy. People break promises all the time. And I'm not saying, I'm pretty much a woman of my word. And, things happen. And pretty much I try to, yes, absolutely. Genuine support system, divine connect. Absolutely. Because guess what? We are all a puzzle. Life is a puzzle. Right? Our life is a puzzle, right? And each piece, think of a puzzle, right? Think of a puzzle, right? You cannot complete your picture if a piece is missing, right? So you may be a piece to my puzzle. I may be a piece to your puzzle, right? But we all are pieces that we are connected, and we have to be able to pour back into one another, right? Have to do that, right? Have to do that, right? So I'm going to tell y'all. I'm going to give y'all a few little nuggets on. I'm going to give y'all 4 nuggets on how to believe, how to stand on God's promise. First, you have to believe what He said. Michelle says, actually, this exact example. Come on, it's right. That's right, Michelle. That's right. It's true. It's so very true. Once we realize, y'all, that all of this is spiritual, the word says that we do not fight in the spirit. It's all principalities and spiritual, right? It's all of it. And the enemy he hates us. If you are a believer, he hates you. But guess what? He has no authority. He ain't nobody. So when you operate and know that, when you know that he can't do nothing now, he ain't gonna stop trying. But guess what? That's his job. That's his job. So why do we get mad? Because he's doing his job. He's being who he is. Right? Right? Believe without a doubt what he said is the only way, light, and the truth. Yes. Yes. So we have to believe God over. People will choose to believe the enemy. And again, I'm not acting like because again, y'all know how I feel about what my faith is. And again, and in that moment, I was reacting, right? I was reacting and I didn't respond. Oh, that's a word right there. That's a whole nother broadcast. Reacting versus respond. I reacted and I made it about me. What I should have done was read that text and said, thank you, God. Okay. Because of what you've already promised me. So if this is where we are now, it has to be attached to the promise. I gotta take a sip of that was good. Somebody type that in. That was good right there. I don't want to forget that. What did I say? Right? I forgot what I just said. It was so good. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to myself. But so first of all, you have to believe that what God said is true. Because guess what? I can't believe for you. You can't believe for me. If you don't believe what God has told you is true, I mean, then you gotta believe it. Because what you believe, you speak. Right? What you believe comes out. What you believe, you speak. It's true. What you believe about yourself, you say. You know how folks be like, well, you know what? I just said that. No, if you said it, you believe it. And if you are saying things that you don't believe, that's something that needs some work. Right? Hey, Jamie. I miss my trainer, right? So 1, you have to believe. 2, you have to speak what God has told you. What I mean by that is this. When the enemy comes, right? When the enemy comes and lies and says, you know what? That ain't going to work. You're going to stay sick. You're going to stay broke. You have to know what the word says about all those things so you can speak it. Because guess what? You cannot fight a thought with a thought. You cannot hear a thought from the enemy and then just think a thought. Like, I can't hear something. Okay, so this is the enemy. And then now I'm getting ready to think what God told me, right? Look how dumb I'm getting ready to look. So the enemy, boom, me. You see how stupid I look? I gotta say it. I gotta speak it out, because what you say, what you believe, you will say. And life and death is in the tongue, right? So you have to speak what God has already told you. So 1, you have to believe it. You have to speak it, right? And then you also have to operate as though it's done. The word says, speak things as though they were, right? So you have to operate knowing that it's done. So all of these things that I'm giving y'all, I had to do that night or that day, that night. I had to believe it. I had to start speaking what God has promised me. But hold on. But God, you told me this. I know I heard you. Because see, I know when God speaks to me. That's something else. You have to know when it's God speaking. And to be able to know God's voice, you have to spend time with him. To know when he is speaking to your spirit, your soul. You have to know that. Because guess what? It'll be you talking. Or the enemy talking. And God ain't nowhere. He like, I ain't saying nothing. That ain't me. And guess what else? Guess what else? You have to also know when it's God, you, or the enemy. Because the enemy, you'll say the enemy said that thing. He like, I wasn't even there today. That wasn't me. I can't take this one. I didn't do that, right? So you have to spend time in the word to know what God says about you, right? Right? So you have to believe it, you have to speak it, you have to operate in it. And guess what? And when discouragement comes, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. That's another unwanted guess. It's going to come. But when you have your armor being the word, knowing what God has already told you, I want you to understand what a promise is. A promise is the assurance of something that someone is going to do that is going to absolutely be done. Period. And you stand on that. And don't move. The enemy going to try to move you, and that's okay. He going to try. That's his job. But you have to believe it. You have to speak it. You have to operate in it, right? You do. That's what I had to do the other day. So I want to encourage all of you guys. Whatever God has promised you, and only you know what he's promised you. Only you know what he's promised you. Because I can tell you this, whatever God promised, it's going to happen. Now, also think about this. Sometimes we think, okay, God gives us a promise today. It don't mean that it don't mean that it's gonna be tomorrow all the time. Right? God gives us a promise today. And because we don't see it tomorrow or a month from now, we think, oh, well, maybe God wasn't telling the truth. That's a lie. Because he never lies. Right? It's all about his timing. Because sometimes in the promise, but whatever God has promised you, right? A lot of times it's other people on the other side of that promise that has things that are attached to the promise that he's promised you. Now, but if they are not in position already, it can seem like your promise is being held up, but it's all in God's timing. Right? So in that, you stand. Now, I ain't talking about a promise that you've told yourself. I ain't talking about a promise that somebody else told you that you know God ain't saying. I'm talking about when you know that you have clearly. And this text that I got went against everything that God has clearly told me. Not the text, but what I birthed from the text. Let me say that. What I allowed to be birthed from receiving the text went against everything that God promised me. Everything. He's my father. He's my father. So I had to check myself like, hold on, what did God say? You gonna believe him over God? It's almost like this. It's almost like if you're married, right? Or you have a friend or whatever, a sister or a friend, and someone comes to you and says, oh, so-and-so said you said this, but you and this friend are super close, or it's your husband or your wife, and they believe somebody else over you. You can be like, hold on, you gonna believe them over me? When my track record shows you that I don't lie, that I am faithful, that I got your back, you gonna believe them over me? Okay, well, go ahead then. Right? And we don't want to look at God in that way to where we kind of like questioning if he's God, because God is God, period. Right? God is God, period. So, I want to offer you guys this. I ain't gonna hold y'all long, y'all, because okay. Got on here late tonight. I want to offer you this. Everything that God has promised you is a yes and an amen. In those moments when you get to a place where it feels like, well, maybe God really didn't say that. Line it up with his word. That means get in his word, dig in his word, line it up with the word, measure it with the word. That's your measuring stick is the word. You measure that thing against that word. Because if it's in there and he said it, like I said, take it to the bank. Go ahead, cash your $1 billion check. Okay? You rich. Okay? So, takeaway is this. Believe what God has promised you. Speak what God has promised you, and operate as though it's already done, because it is already done. When the enemy comes, you cannot fight his boom 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 with the thought. You have to speak out. No, you a liar. Turn that thing. You a liar. Gone. You a liar. Speak to that thing. Jesus said this. My father's told me that. You are like, he gonna be like, all right, well, I thought we had her. I thought we had him. Didn't work. But see, when you sit and believe all that, start believing all that jibber jatter, all that chatter, he like, oh, we got her, y'all. They thought they had me. They did. They like, she ain't gonna call her client, which my client wouldn't have got what they needed. She ain't gonna go see her son. Right? Stand, y'all. Stand. No matter what, you stand. If you don't remember nothing else from this broadcast, you hear me saying stand on what God has already promised you, because his promise is his promise is yes and amen. That's it. That's it, y'all. Yes, fight for what God has promised you. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. He is not going to lie. He is a way maker. He is a provider. He is a healer. He's Yahweh. He's Elohim. He's El Elyon. He's Jehovah Jireh. You understand? He's Jehovah Rapha. Come on now. He's everything. And he's not going to lie to us. And understand, it's all about timing. Because I get impatient sometimes too. Like, well, hold on. God, you told me this, but when? Can we come out? Right? We all be like, and God, like, I know what I'm doing. I'm your father. Heaven and earth will pass away, but his word will last forever. Yes. Amen. Amen. Period. Period. I don't care what nobody say. Period. Heaven and earth will pass away, but his word will last forever. That's it. It ain't nobody like him, y'all. That we know. Nobody. Good night. God bless each and every one of us standing in my faith. That's right, Michelle. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you so much. Oh, real quick, y'all, real quick. Before you go, download the guide. How to move forward when experiencing some of life's hardest moments. Again, it's not just a guide for people who have lost their husbands, or it's not only for that. This guide is for anyone who feels like, now what? It's for anyone who wants to know, how do I keep moving? How do I keep going after this life has happened? Right? And life happening is different for each person. It could be losing your job, losing yourself, losing whatever, or just being in a place to where you want to figure out, what am I supposed to do now, God? Download this guide. It's absolutely free. It is written by me, right? The Holy Spirit gave it to me, y'all, and it's for y'all. It's and what it is doing is, I am sharing with y'all my 5 top pivotal steps, the steps that I took when I was at a place of, now what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to keep going? How? Now what? When my husband transitioned, I was at a place of, what? When my life was changed forever. And again, it's not always about the loss of someone, right? So don't think like, oh, well, she got a guy, but I ain't lost nobody. It ain't that. I said it ain't. I'm saying it ain't. Yes, it ain't. that, right? So take a moment, just click the link, y'all. And when I tell y'all, I got some stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks that's going to, as Carolyn say, bless the socks off of y'all. You understand? I can't wait to share. I just can't wait to share with y'all. I'm just excited. I want to share it now, but I can't do that. That's right. That's right. All in his timing. God's promises are better than ours. Oh my God, that's a whole nother word. That's a whole nother broadcast, honey. That's a whole nother broadcast. God's will is so much better than what we could ever imagine or think, right? I always explain to my children, it's like we have this beautiful, shiny marble. It's so pretty. It's beautiful. It's big too, right? It's beautiful. But God got a whole bag of marbles. But we like, nah, I'm going to keep this little marble right here. It's pretty, shine it up. And God like, all right, I got a whole bag of them for you, right? That's God's will, right? And everything he does is good. 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 I said it 4 times. Right? So stand, y'all. I want to encourage y'all to stand on what God has told you in spite of what you see. If what you see does not match what he's told you. And that's it. See? Wasn't that good? Wasn't that good? That was a good word, y'all. Y'all ain't gotta lie to me. If it ain't, y'all be like, well, it was like, yeah, like. Yes. Amen, y'all. I thought once again, thank you for spending y'all time with me. I know we normally on Wednesdays at 7:30. We on Thursdays about 9:30. I got your little shows coming on. I think the Braxtons come on tonight. All this little stuff. Wait on the Lord and be of good courage. That's right. That's right. Because I'm standing on every single bit of what God has promised me, y'all. Whatever I give to y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a little secret. When I come on the lives, right? When I come on the lives on Wednesdays, or, if I have to reschedule, I do. But when I come on the lives, on the broadcast to give y'all a word, I literally wait for God to tell me. That's why sometimes, if y'all see my announcement post, sometimes announcement posts don't come till later in the day because I need the Holy Spirit to tell me what he wants me to talk about. And typically what the word is what I have personally walk through. So I don't give y'all no fluff. I ain't fluffing y'all. I ain't fluffing. Right? I'm not fluffing. So just know that whatever I'm giving y'all, that was great. Once again, a word I needed to hear. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, stay blessed. Thank you so much, Lola, for taking the time. All you guys, thank you for taking the time to just spend it with me. I don't take it for granted. I don't want you guys to feel like, I know you don't feel like, I'm grateful. Know that. Share my video, right? Or send it in the messenger if you don't want to share it on your page. I get it. But yeah, guys, so thank you. I truly love y'all. I promise I do. I don't say things that I do not mean. And the more you get on here and kind of see me, you'll know that about me. Okay. All right, y'all. If y'all have any questions, I'm going to let you guys skedaddle for the night. Wait for a second. I know it's a little delay. I'm wait for a little second. Yes. Thank you, cousin. Thank you. That's my big cousin, y'all. That's my big cousin. And I'm going to tell you something. We have my family. I come from a very spiritual family. So the word has been in there since birth. And throughout my life, God has elevated me. Since my husband's transition, I've been just soaked in his word. Soaked in it because that's it. That's all I got. Thank you, my sister was on here watching me tonight. She's an ordained minister, y'all. Miss Carmen Mack. I gotta say it like that, Mack. That's my sister, y'all. She's one of the people who I told y'all on one of the other broadcasts that when I tell y'all, I think I mentioned her, on one of them. I said my one sister would take me to class with her. She was in nursing school. She's like, you going with me? I'd be like, I don't want to go. Every day. When I'm going to tell a little secret, sissy. Tell a little secret. It's a little secret. When she started working at the job that she has now, she was she's like, I need to do it, but I don't even want to leave you, right? That's how I ain't even gonna tell you about the guy, but that's something that's important in the guy. And guess what? You get whoever says, I don't have a sister like that. I don't have no friends like that. I don't have a tribe. I'm your tribe. I'm walking this thing with y'all. You are not, I'm not giving you a guy to just be on your own. I want to hear every single milestone. I want to hear what I want to hear you take your step. I'm with y'all. When I say I mean it. Send me, I want to know, like, you know what, Kim, guess what? Today I was able to do this. Today I did that. Today I was able to I want to hear. I want to know. I want to celebrate with you. You are not by yourself. You are not. Know that. You are not, I'm not just giving y'all something and saying peace. I'm with y'all. Which I said which. I'm with y'all. Right? Because I know what it's like to have somebody just with you. Because God has blessed me with an amazing squad, and even now they say even now, I need them, right? So I'm for whomever need me. I'm here. Know that. That's real talk. All right, y'all. I'm done. Good night. I love y'all. Y'all done talking to me? Okay. Good night.